And this evening we have some very special guests with us. We have members of the POWER Interfaith Bucks County Education Justice Team. They're here to promote adequate and equitable funding for schools from Harrisburg. And I'm going to let them speak more on the issue. But should this lawsuit go through in our favor, it would be a significant change in funding for school districts, especially for a district such as Bristol Borough.
By one good estimate, we should have $5,000 more for each of our kids in the borough to really have something like equity with more wealthy districts. And you know, if we work hard enough over the next couple of years, maybe we'll get something like this. But I said then there were more groups than ever before working on this issue, and that was even more true than I realized, because I got a call shortly after that by our friends at POWER Bucks Education Justice Team saying they would like to visit the district to show solidarity with districts like ours. And I will not say any more except to introduce my good friend Nancy, who will come up and explain a little bit more about why they're here.
I think today may mark a turning point in the struggle for full and fair funding for public education in Pennsylvania, and let me tell you why. Closing arguments were made today in Commonwealth Court, where school districts from around the state came together to say that our system of funding is inadequate, inequitable, and it needs to change. Our State Senate Appropriations Committee held hearings today on the education budget for 2023. The governor has requested a $1.9 million increase. I see that as very good. And of course, we're here today, and we add our voices to the call for full and fair funding. We have a problem. Our state's own standards, funding for our school district, by our state's own standards, our district is $4 billion short this year. Our legislature's inequitable funding structure consistently assigns districts like Bristol Borough with far less money to spend per student than wealthier districts. This year alone, Bristol Borough has been shortchanged a total of $7,138,681. And let me put that in figures that are easier for me to understand. Each child is losing over $5,000 per year. I'm sure that every person in this room tonight knows how much this additional funding would benefit our students. POWER Interfaith stands with young people of Pennsylvania in campaigning for full and fair funding for every school district. We, the leaders of POWER Bucks Education Justice Team, have come here tonight to make a symbolic gesture. A gesture to call attention to the need for full and fair funding, and at the same time, recognize the extra work that falls on the shoulders of every teacher in an underfunded district. We have an apple for each teacher to show our appreciation for their hard work. Vanna? And that's the hard work they do every single day in a district consistently shortchanged by our legislature. Apples are nice, don't get me wrong, but fair funding is better. Fair funding is essential for a student from a lower income family or a child of color living in an underfunded district to leave school on an equal footing with a student coming from a wealthier family living in a better funded district. Well, we also have gift cards to give each teacher. Isn't she good? She tried out for the Wheel of Fortune. She didn't make it. We have gift cards for each teacher to spend on whatever they need in their classroom. We call this gift a small down payment on the more than $7 million owed to your students. I'd like to invite Principal Kelly Rosato to come forward to accept the apples, gift cards, and a gigantic box of art supplies on behalf of your teachers. Ms. Rosado, come over here for a minute, because I want to recognize you. We're giving money to the teachers. I know what you do every day.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. And thank you, obviously, this small token, but more importantly, for the work that you're doing for our district and for our students. And of course, I always say the great job that the teachers do. You know, they're on the front lines, and I'm here to support them, as well as our school board. So thank you so much. It means
Please,
more
my
than you
friend,
know.
Please.
Thank you.
Ms. Rosado?
Yes.
I heard an amazing phrase once. People who love their own children, they're good people. But children who love and take care of other people's children, those are great people.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. Thank you all. Mr. and Mrs. Klein, thank you.
We know that our $1,000 Band-Aid, our $1,000 checks is just a Band-Aid. But sometimes a Band-Aid is what a teacher needs to get through the day. I taught 22 years in New York City public schools. I loved every minute. I loved every day more than the day before. About 30 years ago, the Board of Education issued checks to all the classroom teachers to purchase supplies. The excitement at PS 124 was palpable. The teachers' room was abuzz with conversations about who was choosing what and why. I received $150. I was an elementary science teacher. I had all the basic supplies I needed, so I could purchase items I wanted. And I did for my students. But among them, I purchased a denim apron, which cost $8. And that apron I wore for over 20 years. Because in the middle of a hands-on science lesson, kids ran out of paper towels, so they came over and wiped themselves on me so that they didn't go home dirty. Most teachers spend most teachers spend some of their own money on their classrooms. But professionals should never be forced to take money out of their own pockets to purchase basic supplies like pencils or chart paper. Just think how the face of education would change if every school district, regardless of student color, ability, or zip code, had sufficient funds for more than just basic supplies. If every district were fully staffed with teachers and librarians and counselors. If every district had the best curriculum, professional development, and technology support that full and fair funding buys other districts right now. We invited our state representatives to come tonight, and two did try their best. Representative Tina Davis was called away to an important committee meeting in Pittsburgh, and she sends her regrets. Senator Tommy Tomlinson is recovering from major back surgery. We also received, though, a written statement from Representative John Galloway expressing his ongoing support for full funding in education. Thanks for extending this invitation to us this evening. And I'd like to let you know, and the people here present, that I think the message is growing, I think it's getting larger, and it's getting more powerful. On Tuesday, I received a message from a member of POWER in Lancaster. That lady heard about tonight's school board meeting. Her team was interested in our plans, and they are also considering some type of engagement with their local school board. I'm beginning to have more hope. I hope you do too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. President, if I could just say something, all these individuals, they volunteer their time for this. They're not paid for this, and I mean, it's these types of grassroots efforts that are going to make a difference in the education of our children and the lives of our children. And I know I speak on behalf of the Board of Education, myself, and the entire Bristol Borough School District. We certainly appreciate what you're doing, and thank you very, very much.
And we want to invite you to join with others in the state in working together on influencing the legislature. And I believe Mr. Ciccoletti has agreed to join us for a photograph. The Pennsylvania education voters of PA have a campaign next week to put 100 different photographs from every county on social media with this poster saying, "Fully fund our schools." And we're hoping that you'll let us take your picture with this poster so that we can post it on our social media.
Would you like a picture of all of us?
As many as are willing to be photographed.
You and Tom go.
Well, it's the whole board, really.
Well, and you're the president. It's an easier picture. It's an easier picture.
Listen, everybody crowd around. This is all, this is a
Just
flow.
crowd around right there.
Somebody told me I had to dress up.
Crowd around. Nick, Golly, get in. Come on. Just like we do the picture for the yearbook.
Aren't we doing,
Yeah,
I'll hold
might
the
as well.
sign.
aren't we doing that tonight?
He never came.
Isn't this better?
But how about if we use this?
I can't stand up.
He can, sit down. You're gonna sit down right there.
Where you are.
Sit right there.
John, let you hold that up.
Okay. Yeah. Come on, come up, wherever.
Sit down, Brianna. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Was that better?